Hiya folks, and welcome back to Blasphemous. So, I have heard you loud and clear. I very intentionally made sure that I waited until you'd seen the first episode before continuing. And there were some comments that it was too loud. Fair enough. You have acquired Radius of Helzer, the poet. The work of poet John Clark Helzer had a sadly posthumous success, especially his poem To the Red Leaf. The poem was found next to his corpse, severed by a fallen tree. Okay, wow. Sucks to be him, I suppose. Oh, that's charming.
Contrite and humiliated be the heart, penitent one in silence, you stand before what remains of Gemino. Oh, do not fret for me, the cold is merciful, for it relieves our pain and numbs us before it leads us to our deaths. Perhaps the miracle the others spoke of has come to me, here in this iron tomb, lengthening distress more and more. To a promised land you direct your march, to the place where the frozen and the burning embrace in communion. Let me ask of you the favour of bringing me a few drops of the oils that once came out of these icy olive trees, the ones that ended up scorching the faces of every pious person who ever reached the summit. As my last wish, before it is too late for me, let me feel that pain. Take this.
You have acquired Empty Golden Thimble.
Now, let my numbed arm become another branch of this withered olive tree. Hurry up, I can still hear the call.
So, they're asking for olive oil? That... Okay, so there's multiple things going on here. I feel like this is a tomb which was cast specifically to this person who is very large, to this person's form, but then they've somehow worked their hand out of one of the arms and worked it down across their front and then out through a hole in the stomach, which now they're stuck. Which, I suppose, if you are stuck in one position for so long in this perfect iron tomb, you're going to want to desperately move an arm at some point or try and get out some way, but that just looks excruciating, and I suppose that's the point, right? Gosh. Alright, let's move on. Also, I just want to comment, the voice acting in this game really lets down. Really lets down the rest of it. That was some class C voice acting there, my friend. Oh dear. Suppose a game cannot be perfect, right? You have to budget somewhere. And it looks like they put all their budget into the glorious, glorious artwork, which quite honestly, I'm okay with. Hey, this is a cave. Hello, cave. I am glad that man knocked me down. Or those men. You have acquired incense garlic. Bulb white as bone, very hard to find and its intense aroma reminiscent of sandalwood is only noticeable on rainy days, betraying its hiding place. It was sought after by the herbalists with the best sense of smell for its miraculous properties. Oh, it's like garlic except not. Confessions of Terso, Part 6. Ever since then, our pious kisses have saved hundreds from the affection of the miracle that ravages these lands, and from then on our congregation has been called that of the kisses of wounds. So I'm starting to get the idea that the miracle which is usually a word associated to something good, is actually something terrible. Quite awful indeed. There are people in like very specifically shaped gibbets, is what those cages are, which holds them in a very specific position. Like that one, or this one, holds them in a prayer position. That's awful. That is just the worst. You are also just the worst, my friend. Can you get down here, or no, you cannot. But you are gonna, yeah. Oof. Alright. I saw the one coming from the left, but I was already committed and got myself wrecked for it. Hello, my giant friend. The other interesting thing about the English voice acting is that, as far as I know, the Game Kitchen is a Spanish game company, which means they would have had to source English voice actors. And I really, really liked the voice of the Disagreeus, is that his name? The narrator. I really liked the voice of the narrator. But there has been a couple of voices so far which have been a bit questionable. And I feel like that's kind of just getting the first person you could find, or someone, whoops, should have executed them for the extra points. Ow. Alright. Just getting the first person that you can find who's willing to take the role. That kind of level of bad. Is that mean to say? I don't feel like that's mean to say. Or I don't feel like it's too mean to say. Dang it. Alright, I'm back here. I'm going to fight this person down here, even though I'm doing worse than I feel I did last time. My scooch only seems to go a short distance right now. I have to remember I have flasks, because I'm not using them. Ow, okay. I should dash when you throw, not when you jump. Oh, you jerk. Yeah, I see you. You know what? I could do with the tears, so I'm going to murder both of you. Thank you. Now I've got my warm up out of the way, maybe I won't die so often. A cave. Ooh, you're cool. Yeah, person tied to like a staff with a bell on it, but the staff is very, very big. Oh, good. Alright, you want to, do I get to see something down here? I do, indeed. I don't know if I could get there myself though, without going down. Or maybe we go down first. Oh, there's no going down right yet. Can I interest you? I can interest you. Ow. Ow. Alright, that's not how I expected that to go, but... This is the worst. Hell, ghost. I don't want to fight you over here because of jumpy men. And I don't want to fight you down there because I can't literally hit you. Okay, well, I tried to get down over there. I think you noticed that. It wasn't me trying to get to the upper platform. But I am back here for my effort. I should actually go back. Because I have nearly 2,000 tears now. I feel like it's a decent amount. At least in the early game. I've decided instead to just run. Also, I don't know why I wasn't hitting him. Give me the item, please. No, you don't. Oh, remains of Tentudia's hair. Remain of the thorned hairs of the novice Tentudia that were isolated from the rest so that she could not receive a holy burial. So someone has to remain intact for a holy burial? Tentudia spent several years in that nunnery, and as she grew up, it became harder and harder to hide her hair. It wouldn't stop twisting and growing thorns, and the blood from the wounds it caused her did not take long to stain her pure white habit. The nuns, upon realizing, were frightened by it, and soon began considering her cursed and a heretic, just as the parents of the girl had feared would happen. That's horrendous. like many things in this game so far, that's just plain horrendous. Come on, Purdue. Anywhere, thank you. Hooray. And a shop. Yes, I knew that was a shop from the demo, because there was such a crack in the wall in the demo.
What I am offering you here is as lustrous as the first star of the night. And may my eyes be blinded if I'm lying.
This soft white ribbon used during marriage ceremonies has been torn, thus destroying its delicate embroideries. One of the three remains of an unfinished ceremony. The wounds inflicted by a broken oath rarely ever find healing. You want to buy the object for 800, yes, because it sounds like a key object.
What I am offering.
Yeah. Eyeball belonging to Alvaroz the Scribe, who glimpsed the truth hidden to so many other eyes. Its stony scrutiny reveals the vital essence of enemies. That actually sounds incredibly useful. So I guess we're not going to go upgrade Mea Culpa just yet. And we will do without this one. Because that one is just giving me like 1 tier of atonement per like background object I smash. Now when I hit things I should be able to see their health, I guess. Also, there was a lever like this before, but I don't know how to use them. Oh no. Oh. Okay. Alright, well. Now I can go upgrade Mea Culpa, except I don't have any tiers for it. That explains how you get that. Also, yes, thought so. Do you want to give the remains of 10 tiers here? I do.
This poor lass. Many tears were shed in her blessed name. 1,000 prayers do not clarify whether or not the grievous miracle is a manifestation of true holiness. Still, in our heart lieth no doubt that she was unjustly punished.
Yeah.
Find the next remnants. The order blesses thee.
And I got some tiers for it. And a tier of atonement. Yay, it was a key item. Alright. Hey, you have extra lore. Number 1, yes brother. It's been a long time since I stopped officiating nuptials. Since the day those 3 sisters embraced each other, praying. Since the day they asked the miracle itself to help them to avoid such a holy bond. So if the miracle is like deadly as it seems to be, that seems to me that the sisters were begging for death rather than marriage. This Heart of Virtuous Pain, can I still cannot equip you. Where is that thing I just picked up? I'm confused. And also this has lore. Calcified Eye of Erudition. His body was immobilized, and amid cries of repentance his skin began to turn whiter and whiter until it finally became limestone. As he was about to become a complete statue, in a final sigh his tears softened one of his eyes, and he managed to separate himself from the rest of the body by falling to the ground. Then we discreetly moved her rigid body of lime from her cell to the lower parts of the architedral lower parts of the architedral along with the other forbidden statues. We put a wide loom over her so that no one else would know that under her would sleep. Punished by the miracle, the great scribe. I'm confused. Amid cries of repentance, his skin began to turn whiter and whiter until it finally became limestone. As he was about to become a complete statue, in a final sigh, his tears softened one of his eyes, and he managed to separate himself from the rest of the body by falling to the ground. Then we discreetly moved her body. So there was a pair of people in that story? Like, there's some missing context there. This is one of the voice acting lines that I didn't really enjoy.
Merciful be, penitent one. With your contribution, the work of this brotherhood carries on.
You have acquired linen cloth. Great. Oh, it's a key item. Lots of lore in this episode. Hope you don't mind. A useless rag that seems too slightly vibrate at times. That's creepy. Emitting an unintelligible buzz. The affliction sometimes leaves its mark on mundane-looking objects, unable to reveal the miracle under the mantle of corruption. It's an STP. Febrile as he was, he hardly noticed that someone had sat down next to him. A gentle hand patted a white cloth on his forehead. It was a fabric of the utmost softness, which allowed light through it as if it were a sheet of paper, and was soaking his feverish sweats and providing such relief that he could not help but fall asleep. When the cloth was soaked, the nun got up and handed it to the Mother Superior, adding, "With this, we will be able to have his confession." Woof. People just kissing wounds. Extremely hygienic. So can we afford anything? Sacred Thrust. Sinful Wrath. Concentrates the power of mea culpa on the blade, allowing the penitent one to release its full potential in a single but incredibly devastating attack. Or the penitent one performs a fourth combo finish attack. Now I will unlock this, actually. Because 2000 is so far away that I may as well. But that allows me to do this. But it has a huge wind up. So I don't know where I'll find it useful. I had to play with this one in the demo and was not able to find a use for it against the boss of the demo. So whether it'll be useful against bosses or not is a question, but whether it'll be useful against basic enemies, you know, maybe. So I think I get, yeah, I do. I get totally, oh, I know what I have to do. That's awful and mean. But I'm gonna do it. And I'm not gonna make you sit through it. I'll be right back. Haha, I have done it. I went the long way around in order to be able to drop down here and smack this thing. Got it. Which is great, because I don't know what they're for. It told me, but I cannot remember or whether it explained it very well. Because the thing I noticed about this lever is I couldn't pull it once it's down, but now it's up, so that's great. I'm gonna go in here. You have acquired Immaculate Bead. Please remove my guilt from me. You are rid of guilt. Thank you. Now I can get all my mana back. As well as 100% of the tears from enemies. You have acquired Knot of Rosary Rope. Rope knot made from the threads of habits of monks deceased in ancient times. Lore. Ingracia was her name. Her rosaries were the prettiest of all Custodia. The most prestigious priests and bishops frequented her workshop, and even our very holiness inscriber commissioned her. Such was her mastery that a rosary crafted by old Glacia was unparalleled in beauty, delicacy, and perfection. Word spread that a rosary that was not made by her would not receive divine blessing, and prayers would not be heard, and besides, that would be a sin. This caused all the others to become banned by the Holy Mother Church, and those so-called false rosaries were sought and burned. Someone who kept a deceitful rosary was severely punished, sometimes even accused of heresy. Then we all began to wonder what would become of the rosaries when Inglacia was no longer with us. Yeah, exactly. There's so very many things wrong with that. Like, if you are to pray in, as far as I understand this kind of look at religion, if you are to pray, you require rosaries to pray with. She cannot make rosaries for everyone. But you also, based on this church, you also seem to need to be able to pray every day kind of thing, like it's a daily thing that you partake in. Oh, there's a lot going on there. I think what we'll do, because we're starting to get a bit overtime here, I will blame all the lore reading this episode for that, not the dying, of course, is I will progress a little further up this mountain if I can. Okay, you know, that's fair enough. I'll progress a little further up this mountain and then we'll call it there. But I'm enjoying this so far. I hope you are. I know it's not the usual fare of Minecraft and strategy games and other things that I can build pretty things in, but I think a lot of you know by now that I really enjoy my things like Dark Souls and a well-told single-player experience. Okay, well, I need to be a bit smarter about how I handle this guy. He has a very quick attack. Okay, hang on. Excuse me. We're gonna try this again. Just heal up here a second. I think I ought to be parrying this guy. I think that's what I've learned. He's too wide because of the coffin to dash through, and his attack is very fast. So I shouldn't be trying to like back away from his attack in order to avoid it. I should be doing that. My right button has actually been behaving itself, which, you know, that's wonderful. It's a miracle, you might say. Turn around, you. I want to work you out. Okay, here we go. I parried that, but it lagged. Alright, so I can block this guy, but I cannot parry him, which is fair enough. We have learned. We have learned how... Excuse me, wind. Thanks. We have made a learn. We've also made a learn of this. Look at that. I am on the ball today. Not a single one of those missed. Right. I really don't like these bell guys, eh? They like to stay out of reach and charge you. And they have a lot of health. That handles that. I see you there. Can go left or right. Poke our head into the right. Okay. We have made a learn. Not let this joker be a joker. Wait for you to come back now. There we go. And yump. Oh, I made it. I was going to have to stab the wood. This looks like the way to go. If I ever did see it. You know what? Nope, we're gonna skip this guy. That just seems like a... Ooh, alright. Well, we've had a look at the peaks, so I think we'll leave the episode there. And next episode we will climb them, because that'll be fun. Bye!